Hey guys, what's going on? It's the old nerd dude. I'm back. Been busy the last couple of weeks. I had a lot of stuff going on, and I was kind of waiting for all the E3 festivities to end. So that's why you haven't seen me in a couple of weeks. So anyway, since I brought up E3, let's go ahead and talk about it. Um, let's see. So E3 2016 was an interesting E3, mainly due to hardware announcement and lack of a hardware announcement, which you'll get into in a minute. Um, it was a pretty good E3. All in all, it wasn't bad. I've seen worse, particularly for an E3 where you didn't see a new generation of console get announced. Um, One thing that did surprise me, and of course, Sony announced this shortly before E3 started, I think the week before, that you were not going to see the PlayStation 4.5, the enhanced PlayStation, at E3. I was rather surprised by that. I thought they would at least announce it, but they said nothing about it. I thought they would at least say, yeah, it's coming out in the fall or something. At this point, we don't know when it's coming out or what the price point's going to be. So I was kind of surprised by that. I was also kind of surprised that we didn't hear nothing about a Red Dead Redemption 2. Particularly since there were rumblings going into E3 that was a possibility. Now I heard a good rumor that I think is somewhat reliable, but I'm not going to say where I heard it from because I don't want to get anybody jammed up. Supposedly, Red Dead Redemption 2 is being worked on. I doubt if we hear anything before next year on it. But it is being worked on, supposedly, and I hope it is because the first one was really cool. I'm surprised we haven't really seen a remastered version of it for Xbox One and PS4, but I don't know that I played because I didn't really play GTA 5 Remastered all that much either. Okay, let's talk about the press conferences. First off, the EA one was horrible. Really disappointed in it. The one thing that really rubbed me the wrong way, and a lot of other people, was the Star Wars portion of it. They basically came out and said, yeah, we're working on some Star Wars games. They're going to be cool. And then that was it. Okay, can you give us an idea of what they're about or when they're going to come out or on what platforms or anything? No, we're just working on some Star Wars games. Okay. And yeah, it was just a real disappointing presser. Of all the press conference, it was definitely the low point. Now I'll talk about the Bethesda one, which I thought was slightly better. The big thing that caught me, well, before I go into that one, I will say this: the highlight for me, there were two highlights from the EA one. Battlefield 1, which of course anybody who knows anything knows is going to be set in World War One, which I've kind of been waiting for somebody to go there, and I think it's interesting that that's the way EA took with the new Battlefield. And it looked really good. The footage they showed at E3, of course, it wasn't really new footage, but it did look really good, and especially the stuff with the Zeppelins. And Titanfall 2 looked really neat. The thing with Titanfall 2 versus Titanfall 1 is it's not going to be a console exclusive. It's going to be out on Xbox One and PS4. I'm not sure about PC, but I'm wouldn't be at all surprised if it didn't come out on PC. But definitely on the two consoles. And it looked really good. Those were the two high points. Other than that, the EA presser wasn't that great. Anyway, getting back to the Bethesda one. The big takeaway for me on that one was Dishonored 2. I really liked Dishonored 1. I bought it when it came out on 360 and never finished it. I have since bought the remastered version on Xbox One. Still haven't finished it. I'm planning to at some point in time, hopefully before Dishonored 2 comes out. But I really like the Dishonored, the first one. The second one looked even better. So I'm kind of jazzed about that. Also, we saw Quake get a reboot, which was interesting. Which, right before E3 started, I kind of heard some rumblings about on the internet. I got a feeling, and so did a lot of other people, that this is going to be kind of like an Overwatch version of Quake, which a lot of people aren't real happy about. And I'll say this, I get why they're not real happy about it. I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to agree with them, but I get it. I've never been a real big Quake fan, not my kind of game. But yeah, I'd play like an Overwatch version of it, kinda. But yeah, I can get why the Quake purists are kind of irritated by it. If that's the case, it may not. They also announced a Prey reboot. Bottom line, I don't care. If you're a big Prey fan, hey, and that's your thing, cool. Visually, it looked good. Gameplay-wise, who knows yet? Not really my thing. But again, that's me. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else. Of course, they announced the card game. Yeah, another card game. I'm not real big on those. But yeah, for me, the big takeaway was Dishonored 2. Also, the Fallout DLC coming out. They're getting ready to wrap it up with, I think, 3 DLCs, and then that's going to be it. I'm kind of irritated, though, that they jacked up the price of the Season Pass, particularly since the DLC is wrapping up. The Season Pass needs to be $30. I'm sorry. If you're going to put out a Season Pass and you're going to charge me almost as much for the Season Pass as you do the game, I'm not really cool with that, and I'm probably going to wait till the Season Pass goes on sale. Because you're talking by the time you pay tax, you're dropping $100 on a game. That includes the game and the Season Pass. I don't mind paying $20 or $30 for a Season Pass. Anything more than that, I think you're asking a bit much. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what comes next. Now, the Ubisoft press conference. Was rather surprised they didn't announce a new Splinter Cell. I thought they would, given the fact that kind of all their big franchises at this point are out or going to be coming out on current gen, Xbox One and PS4. Ghost Recon, speaking of which, looked really good. Can't wait for that to come out. But yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see a new Splinter Cell. And I haven't heard anything about one being in the works. That's just me, speculating. Of course, they announced the new Watch Dogs 2. I don't know. I've kind of got to wait and see attitude about it. It didn't look real appealing to me. I was really disappointed with the first one. The thing that irritated me with the first one was it was confirmed to be, and this was a title that I was most looking forward, that was supposed to be a launch day title. Above all the others, this was the ones I most wanted to play when I got my Xbox One when it came out. So, a month before the new consoles drop, Ubisoft, oh yeah, even though we confirmed it as a launch title, now it's going to be delayed 6 months. That was the first rub. I did not like that at all, especially since a month before they confirmed it as a launch title. And then, 6 months later when it did come out, it was essentially broken. I knew people that couldn't get in the game for at least a month, maybe longer than that, because it was broken. And I forget exactly what the particulars about the bug were, but it didn't get worked out till at least a month after release. I think maybe even longer than that. So that was the other big thing. Plus the game was kind of I thought. It's kind of ho-hum. So yeah, the new one, I don't know. I might wait and see what the reviews are like. First, I'm going to wait and see if it's buggy. Then I'm going to wait and see what the reviews are like. And I might pick it up maybe if it goes on sale or something. I don't know. I wasn't as nearly as thrilled by this one as I was the first one before it came out. Let's see. So that was a big takeaway for me from the Ubisoft one, was mainly the new Ghost Recon, which we'd seen footage of before. But this was kind of new footage, and it looked really good. That's definitely going to be one I'd probably pick up launch day. we'll go into the micro. I'll go into the Microsoft one next. Basically, the big takeaway from it was, hey, we got the Xbox One S coming out, and they mentioned the high performance Xbox One, which is coming next year, Scorpio. Now, there's some confusion about this that I'm seeing on the net. The two are not the same thing. The Xbox One S will be out this August 2016, and its big thing is it's 40% smaller. It's got an internal power supply. It's gonna play back 4K video, like 4K Blu-ray DVDs, not 4K games. So let me make that clear. The Xbox One S will not game in 4K. You can watch 4K video on it, but that's it. It's also going to have high dynamic range lighting support for games and video, but again, it won't be 4K games. Now, moving on to the high-end one that's going to come out next year, probably late 2017. They gave no information on it other than said it was coming. No hardware specs, no pricing, no availability, nothing like that. Oh, before I forget, the Xbox One S, I know everything that's come out so far has been in white. So if you get online to do a search, all you'll see is a white version. They are doing a black one, which is probably going to be the one I get if I get one. I'm still kind of on the fence about that. Anyway, the high-end Xbox One, which will come out sometime late next year probably, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, it's going to be $1,000. I could not disagree more, and I'll tell you why. I remember back when the PlayStation 3 came out, and a lot of you people do too. If I remember right, the retail price on it was, I think, $700. They couldn't sell them. And then after it came down in price, they flew off the shelves. Here's the deal. And I hope, and I think Microsoft is smart enough to realize this. If they put $1,000 price tag on a gaming console, they will not sell them. They will sit on these shelves. Because at the end of the day, it's a gaming system. People aren't going to drop that type of crazy money on a gaming system. Particularly when you can go and get an Xbox One S for $300 and still play the same games. Because all the Xbox Ones, the ones that are already out, the Xbox One S and the high one are all going to play the same games. It's just going to perform better on the high-end Xbox that comes out next year and probably look better. But if they're thinking people are going to drop $1,000 on it, I think they're going to be sorely disappointed when I can go below $300 and play the same game. It just doesn't look quite as nice. I think the most you'll see this thing go for is $600. And granted, at $600, they'll probably be taking a loss on the console. But I think $600 is the most they can charge for the thing and get away with it. I personally am hoping it's cheaper than that. The other thing I found interesting about the Xbox One Scorpio that's coming out next year is there's no dedicated Kinect support. The current Xbox Ones from launch day till now, well, not the Scorpio, it's the Xbox One S, but I'm assuming the Scorpio is going to be the same thing. It does not have a dedicated Kinect port on it like the current Xbox Ones do, which kind of tells me that Microsoft may have kind of closed the book on Kinect. I think they're more worried now about HoloLens and VR type stuff, and I think that's where it's going. Kinect was neat. The one that came out with the Xbox One when it launched was a more refined version of the previous generation of Kinect. It worked a lot better, but still it didn't quite click, if you know what I mean. So it is what it is. I'm personally more interested in the VR stuff. on a high-end Xbox than I am on Kinect anyway. And that's pretty much, of course, Xbox showed a lot of games, stuff that's coming out. Announced the Halo Wars 2 beta that's going on, I think, now through the 24th of the month. And again, more games. It was not a bad conference. I've seen them do worse ones. So for them, it was a pretty good one. Also with the Xbox One S, there's a slightly redesigned controller that's coming with it. The big thing with that is it's going to have Bluetooth in it. So not only will it connect normally, like it does with a normal Xbox, through the wireless Xbox whatever, but you can connect it to your PC with Bluetooth, which will be cool because you don't need a dongle for it now, particularly if, like most modern computers, have Bluetooth built on board now. So that's kind of neat. So now I'll move into the Sony press conference. They were all about the games, man. I mean, all you saw was game videos and gameplay. I mean, some new IPs got announced. Like I said, they did not announce any new hardware or even bring it up. I was kind of surprised by that. But they had said in advance of E3 they weren't going to. But still, that decision surprised me. They did talk a lot about the Sony VR. By the end of the year, you're supposed to have 50 titles that'll support VR. That's a pretty good number. Batman VR, and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about VR stuff. Part of me, I'll probably end up getting a Sony VR this fall when they come out. But then again, part of me is thinking in the back of my head, maybe you ought to wait for second generation of this stuff to come out because that's going to be better, it's going to be smaller, and it's going to be cheaper. So, I don't know. But I'll probably break down and buy it. And I didn't watch any of the Nintendo presser. Not really my thing. I will say this about Nintendo. I think this new console they got in the works, the NX, is going to either make or break them at this point. I think if this console tanks, you're probably going to see them get out of the console business and mainly concentrate on handheld and maybe license games to other platforms like Sega did when they got out of the console business. But yeah, I think this is either a make or break deal for Nintendo. I caught a little bit of the PC press conference. To be honest, I thought it was kind of silly. I will say this, and I'm not going to name the developer because, to be honest, I don't remember, and I don't remember the name of the game, and even if I did, I wouldn't say it anyway. But I caught part of it where these people come out and they're pimping this game they're working on, right? Yeah, it's a game and blah, blah, blah. It's going to be great. You can do this. And it sounded really neat. And then they showed gameplay. And mind you, I'm watching this on Twitch.tv, right? So I'm seeing what they're broadcasting and the chat room response on Twitch. They started showing the gameplay. And everybody just started laughing. I'm laughing watching it in my living room, and the people in chat are just losing it because this thing looks just god awful. And somebody in chat even said, man, I hope they aren't planning on actually releasing this thing. And I'm not saying it's a bad game because I don't know. It just looked, just from a graphic standpoint, god awful. And I kind of feel bad for the developers that are working on it because I'm sure they think, yeah, this is going to be great, and we're pouring everything we have into it and everything. And to get that kind of, or elicit that kind of response, it just made me feel really bad for those folks. But you just couldn't help from busting up laughing. I don't know what to tell those people. If I was working on the game, I wouldn't know what to think. And if I was asked by somebody that worked on the game for my honest opinion, I'm not sure what I'd tell them. So, luckily, I'm in neither position, so I don't have to worry about it. But still, I feel bad for those people. And I'm trying to think if I'm leaving anything out. Don't think so. Let's see. I'm kind of hoping, in regards to the PlayStation 4.5 or Neo or whatever it's called, that as we get closer to the end of the year, we start hearing more about it. I keep hearing they still want to ship this thing in the fall. But then again, I think if they do, for a lot of people, it's going to come down to a decision. Well, do I buy the VR or headset stuff, or do I, which is going to be like $400 or $500, or do I buy the new console? So I'm thinking they may be pushing this thing back to the springtime next year, which I think from a marketing standpoint might make more sense. But I'm also hearing that the Sony VR, when it's plugged into a regular PS4, does not run very good. I don't know whether that's the case or not, but that's kind of what I've been hearing. If that's the case, then yeah, you might not want to use one until the high-end version comes out. Again, I don't know. That's rumors I'm hearing. There might not be anything to it. Really can't think of anything else. I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, it wasn't a bad E3. It could have been a lot worse. I've seen worse. Tokyo Game Show's coming up. Usually not a lot gets announced there. And I think one other gaming show's coming up. I forget which one. Not a lot getting announced there. Everybody kind of saves their thing for E3, and then that's it. Every once in a while, you'll see somebody drop a bomb at Game Developers Conference, but that already went down a couple of months ago. Let's see. I guess I could talk about Worldwide Developer Conference by Apple. They didn't really announce anything new there. They mentioned, I didn't really cover it because it was going on at the same time as E3, plus I was working. I didn't really hear any big news come out of it. A new version of OS 10 got mentioned. New version of iOS. I don't know. I kind of feel Apple's kind of lost their mojo. I don't know. And I don't know how they can get it back. So I don't know what to tell Apple on that. I used to be a real big Apple guy. At this point in time, and I used to have a MacBook, which I still have, and I used to have an iPhone and an iPad. The only thing I have right now is my MacBook. Don't have my iPhone anymore. I went Android. I'm real happy with it. Don't have my iPad anymore. It got to the point it was an original iPad mini, and it was getting to the point where it was so old it wouldn't run the new version of apps. So I actually sold it while I could still get a little something for it. And I bought a Kindle Fire 7-inch with 16 gig of RAM. Got it on sale at Best Buy for $50. And I really like it. It's a $50 tablet. Runs their version of Android. You don't have access to the Google Store, but you do have access to the Amazon App Store, which has a lot of the same apps in it. $50, you can't go wrong. Is it super fast? No. Do I recommend playing games on it? No. I got it mainly to read books on, because the screen on my phone is just too small. But for $50, you can't beat it. If you break it, or you lose it, or somebody steals it, or a new one comes out like 6 months down the road, you're out $50. Big deal. It's not even the cost of a game. Another thing I want to do is kind of a nerd deal of the week. And I guess I'll give you two bonus nerd deals with the Kindle Fire and the what I'm about to mention now. If you don't have Halo 5, Best Buy has the Halo 5 Collector's Edition that came in the big gigantic box with the statue thing and stuff that originally went for like $200 and some change. Like, I want to say $225, $250 for $75. You can get this thing for $75. They've got a few left. It comes with a statue and an art book and all that jazz for $75. I would buy it, except I already have the game, and I don't really have room to put any other like statue type things in my office. I've got enough of that stuff already. But if I didn't already own the game, oh yeah, I'd be all over it. For $75, you really can't beat it. Now, it doesn't come with an actual physical copy of the game. It comes with a digital code to download it, but you get all the other stuff in the box. The box is huge. So, yeah, if you're looking to pick Halo 5 up, now's a good time to pick it up if you can grab one of those boxes for 75 bills. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to call it quits for now. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. If you dig what I'm doing here, I would appreciate if you hit the follow and the like buttons. And I will catch you next time.